Day. It is Wednesday, August 7th. I just happen to be your host, Michael Taylor, and I'll be here for the whole half hour. And let's get it started. It's going to be a great show today. Got a good one. You might have heard of a bull market. You might have heard of a bear market. But have you heard of a buffalo market? Well, from Pacific Financial Planners, Jerry Slusowitz is going to be here. You're going to explain to us what a buffalo market is and why we might be in one right now. What does that mean for your investments? We'll talk to him about that and more. Then Village Music Club's John Pearlstone. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. He's going to do a tour. He's in like 4 different tribute bands. He's got a lot going on. We're going to talk to him about what he's got going on and some of the shows that are coming up for you to go see. Lots of great tribute bands like what does he got? The Traveling Wilburys. He's got Tom Petty. He's got Bob Dylan. He's got it all. So we'll talk to him about that. Right now, we want to talk to you about a great meeting coming up. If you're in United, we've got a treat for you. They're having a town hall this Friday, August 9th at 2 p.m. They're going to be at the Performing Arts Center Clubhouse 3 in room number 2. This is what they do every month, and it's an opportunity for you guys to come out there and ask them some questions about what's going on in the community. One of the topics on the agenda is also going to include understanding the GRF Trust and how that works and how that benefits the communities and where the money goes to. But remember, it's also just about a Q&A. If you have concerns, questions about what's going on in your community, that's your opportunity to come out there and talk to the board members about that in an informal setting, not a regular meeting kind of setting where they have to make decisions and votes. So come out, get out there to that this Friday. Let's take a look outside, and we still have a few clouds lingering around up there. So we got the morning clouds. Probably going to burn off, but we're going to see the high clouds for most of the day, but most of it's going to burn off to mostly sunny skies later this afternoon. And we're going to have kind of the same pattern tomorrow. And then again, maybe a few clouds in the morning kind of thing as we go through the week. Mid-80s really all through the week. So temperatures really not going up or down any major degrees anymore. It's kind of holding steady here in this pattern. Maybe a little bit more sun than cloud on Sunday, but that's really not a lot of variables going on in our weather right now. Good warm temperatures, not too hot, definitely not too cold. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset while we're at it. And we had a great picture here of Sebastian over at the Equestrian Center. Thank you for Hope Bullock for sending this one in to us. I got to see Sebastian in person just a few weeks ago when I went down there, did a segment with the Equestrian Center folks, so that was a lot of fun. Sunrise this morning, 6:07. Sunset tonight is going to be 7:44. If you'd like to send us a picture of horses, the garden center, the bowling club, whatever activity you might be involved in over in the arts room, making jewelry, whatever it might be, send us a picture of your group doing their thing like the folks at the Equestrian Center did, and we'd love to put it on the show. How do you do that? Email us, Laguna Woods Village TV @gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the photo, and we will put it in our sunrise sunset segment. All right, we got one meeting to tell you about. Then when we come back, we'll be talking with Jerry Slusowitz from Pacific Financial Planners.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We cook, we clean, we listen, we help, we care. And that's why we create customized care plans to enable every senior to maintain their independence. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
What would it feel like to hear better? Many people are trapped in the isolation of poor hearing and don't realize it. Even people that are wearing other hearing aids. They only know the way they hear, not how much better they could be hearing. We've taken patients that were hearing 24% of conversations and improved them to 92%. A life-changing difference. Put on these hearing aids and hear better, automatically. No buttons to push or technology to fear. Artificial intelligence and these products do all the work. Don't settle for less. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Hoarding is a complicated subject, but it's something that can quickly become dangerous. Stockpiling items like newspapers, clothes, receipts, or more become unmanageable amounts of clutter, which develops into health and safety risks. The clutter becomes unsanitary and often full of flammable objects. If you or someone you know might be struggling with a hoarding disorder, contact Laguna Woods Village Social Services. Help keep your community safe and healthy by disposing of unwanted, unused, and unnecessary items.
Seniors fear running out of money more than death itself, and the number one mistake you can make is underestimating volatility, which can derail your retirement. For 35 years now, I've coached seniors to financial independence by using 2 simple rules. Never take big losses and create income along the way. It's your financial future. Call now to get a free risk analysis to ensure your investments are protected, and we'll send you our Safer Money System, 949-219-0692.
Volatile? That's not how I describe my next guest, but that is how I describe the market that he works in and sometimes has to deal with. I want to welcome Jerry Slusowitz from Pacific Financial Planners to our show. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Michael.
Like the least volatile guy I know, so I'm not going to put that on you. But the markets went a little crazy in the past week or so. Big thing going on in Japan, the affected markets here, concerns about our employment, all that kind of thing. And that turned it into some, crazy days of trading. I want to go through a couple of terminology with you. First, just to remind folks, what is a bull market? Why do we call it a bull market?
Well, bulls charge ahead.
Okay.
The running of the bulls. And so that's what you want your markets and your monies to do when you invest, is you want it to charge ahead and up and higher.
You want to see that graph going up.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Then we'll talk about a bear market. Why do we call it a bear market? And we know that's like in a time of decline or like people are selling off.
Yeah, the bear market, the bears claw away. So, I think we got a picture of a bear somewhere, but they claw away. So they either take your profits or they take even your initial money, and those aren't good. You don't want to be in a bear market, which is defined as a 20% decline from the previous high.
Okay. And now, what is a buffalo market? I've heard that term somewhere else recently this week, and you sent that graphic on the buffalo in there, and now we need your answer right here.
Yeah, there you go. Answer here. It's a roaming market. And buffaloes sometimes stampede as well, and that's what we've seen, as you alluded to here at the beginning of the show, is that, sometimes it goes rather quickly as well. Mm-hmm. But I think we're going to roam around between now and the election. I don't want to be an alarmist and say that we're going to go into a bear market.
Right.
So, but I do believe that we're going to see some volatility between now and year end. But I actually, between now and the election, and I think things will settle down after the election. And typically there's this honeymoon period. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. Historically, there's this long honeymoon right after the election for like maybe 6 months. And so I think that we're going to actually end the year better than we are today.
Okay. And now when we talk about bears, bulls, volatility, and all that kind of stuff, isn't August kind of a typical month where kind of things get a little squirrely? People are on vacation. There's not as many traders, so somebody can make a little ripple and it has a big effect.
Exactly, Michael. That's exactly what happens. Is the volume is typically down. Volume is the amount of people trading, right? And it goes down typically this time of year. So small moves can make bigger moves. So August and September being worse, are your 2 historically worst months of the year. Okay. Everyone thinks October because some big crashes over the time, but it's usually August and September.
Okay. And so as we head into election year, isn't usually the party in charge usually wants to make sure the economy is really shored up, and they're doing all the little tweaks that they can to make sure everything's really good leading up, because it's the economy is stupid, as they famously knew back in the Clinton.
Historically, 31 out of 32 last presidential election cycles, the market's been up that year. Why? For exact reasons you're saying, is everybody wants to be on their best behavior.
don't make things risky for us. So when this volatility happens, people feel like, I need to do something, or they suddenly on paper feel like they're just a little bit poorer. Do you get calls in your office saying, should we be doing something? Do you get those kind of concerned calls from clients?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been doing this for 37 years. So my clients typically don't call me. They know that I've got it handled. Right. My phone does not ring when the market's going up a lot or when it's going down like the volatile days, because I manage the risk and their cash flow. And that's something I'm an expert at. So the people who are panicking are people who have a lot of uncertainty going on, both because the markets are flashing some warning signals and because of the election uncertainty, but they don't know exactly how to manage their risk or how to manage their cash. And those 2 skills are things we talk about at the forum, things that people come to see me over. I had this lady and her daughter come in from the village, and she had assets in rental properties. And she wanted to make a change in her lifestyle.
and move and see if she could afford it. And we showed her where she could sell one of her rental properties, pay for the move, and have more income with more safety than she had before. Okay. So she's got the money, and basically, all I did was give her the advice of what to do, and she's going to proceed with that. People don't know how to generate cash flow safely, and they don't know where to go. So that's what we try to do at Pacific Financial Planners. We try to do that at the Financial Forum.
And can you give kind of folks a briefer? Like you said, your clients aren't calling you about this. So is it because you have these conversations with them? Hey, the markets are going to go up and down. Don't worry, we have these buffers. We have you diversified enough, but we're going to ride these things out. Do they have an assurance from a professional planner like yourself?
Right. Again, we use two things. We use contractually obligated investments. Those are things that have a guarantee of return of principal. All right. So that's some of the business that we do. So no matter what happens in any environment, they're insured that they're going to get all their money back with some yield, some return. And then with the other monies, I use something called stop losses, which is quite a bit different, but I've used them for 30 years, and it saves our bacon all the time. If a position starts acting up, we only take so much volatility. I can't predict the future, but I can control your risk. And people who abdicate that, that's okay. When you're younger like yourself and you want to say, hey, I'm going to retire in, another 15, 20, 30 years, guess what? You got plenty of time. Someone who's retired does not have that, well, the market always comes back mentality. They have to have risk management in place.
I appreciate the fact you said when you're younger, and you looked at me when you said that. Psychology of investing, that's an important thing too. Is as much psychology as it is, understanding the markets for some folks. So they get really on the kind of emotional side of things?
Absolutely. That's what I was suggesting earlier, is that people can get emotional, and rightly so. I'm not saying that they're wrong to be emotional about it, but they should be able to be proactive enough to do something about it, which is, take advantage of learning what you can do to either reduce your risk so you can sleep at night. I call it sleep insurance. If clients are out there, or people watching are out there worried about their money and losing sleep, or having anxiety, which a lot of people worry about money. I think it's like 65% of people.
Of course. What are some of the safe strategies that you're telling folks right now in terms of advocating for them to just, maybe create more income like you did with your one client? And what are some of the basics that you're telling folks?
Well, for more sophisticated investors that are out there fully invested in the market, there may be a shift here in the second half of the year from the technology, which is the leading sectors, to more the broader market. If you would have just said mid-year, if you'd have looked at it, the NASDAQ was up 20-something percent, 5%. Right. But like 7 to 10 companies were up 50 to 200%. And the average 493 other stocks were only up about 5%. Okay. And so those 5%, the 493, the small, mid-sized companies, the value probably will be a better play for the second half of the year. For other investors who are, again, worried about things, well, maybe they should switch from risk to contractually obligated things that, like banks, bonds, insurance companies that say, if over this term, we're going to pay you this rate and you have all your money back 100% assured.
Now, what about seniors? You can for some folks, you also state that seniors can create their own pension. What do you mean by that? I'd love to create my own pension.
Well, yeah, we should talk. Interest rates are super high, okay? We haven't seen these rates in 20 years. It was like 2004, sometime around there, 20 years ago, that we had these kind of rates. And what people can do is lock in on these income strategies. We're getting basically, let's say they put in $100,000. And again, we're talking about somebody, in their 60s, 70s, all right? Or older. I mean, the older you are, the more they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you around 9, almost 10% per year for the rest of your life, contractually obligated. So you get, let's say, $9,000 a year, and you're 70 years old, you're going to live another 20 plus years, hopefully certainly 18 to 20 plus, and you're going to get $9,000 a year guaranteed. If you live to 100, they're still paying you that.
For that initial $100,000 that you put into a bond or whatever that might be.
Yeah, that is a contractual obligation, and it supplements your Social Security, like what? Like a pension, because that's what your pension does. Yeah. So you can now, with these rates, now rates are probably going to start going down as the year goes on, which again is another reason I'm optimistic for the markets and the economy.
Now, do those fluctuate, or do they lock them in when you get it? You lock it in?
No, you lock it in.
Oh,
yeah, no,
okay.
you're done. It's a contractual, that's when I say contract, it's in writing that this is a guaranteed contract.
Terrific. You got a financial forum coming up for us. Tell us about that real quick before we head out.
Yeah, basically tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to talk about the mid-year market recap. Why is that important? Again, it's important to know where you stand. Beginning of the year, end of the year, well, middle of the year also. If I asked 100 people that are watching right now, what are your top 10 holdings? What are your bottom 10 holdings? Most people couldn't tell me. This is a good time to get a recap, see where you stand, see how much risk you're taking, and maybe learn something about the markets.
All right. Get out to see Jerry at Clubhouse 7 tomorrow, folks. Good advice, as always. Jerry Slusowicz from Pacific Financial Planners. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
All right, when we come back, we'll be talking about the Village Music Club and all the shows we have coming up right here. Stay with us.
Attention all club organizers, party planners, and those who simply love to gather and celebrate life's special moments. Are you tired of the hassle of cooking for your events? Looking for a convenient and delicious solution? Introducing our easy and convenient catering trays, perfect for groups of any size from 35 to 90. Need a larger space to host your event? Look no further than our restaurant's banquet room, the perfect venue for your next gathering. Call us today to place your catering order or reserve our banquet room for your next event. Create memories and traditions with Polly's Pies.
Summer's a great time for music, going outside, seeing some shows, and also some clubs, and doing more of that than ever these days is John Pearlstone, our next guest from Village Music Club.
It's all true, Michael. How you doing, man?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I know you're busy. Let's get to some topics here, right?
Roll them off.
You guys just did the Coach House show over, and then you did the Bob Dylan stuff. How did that go?
It went over great. They had about 400 people. We opened for a Rat Pack tribute. Mm-hmm. And so a couple of Laguna Woods folks showed up, special dignitary people, Joey Sims, who's well known here for comedy and other things she does. And so we had a little contingent, and then other guests, and everybody seemed really happy, and they're talking about having us back as a headliner. Probably the big news, in my opinion, that was kind of Jeff Greider is now kind of fully ingrained into the tribute world, and you'll talk about the Wilburys next, but he's seeing the differences, and it's fun to watch him, kind of adjust and improve really quickly.
What's it like for you to build a tribute band from idea, just like I think I want to do this, to having a gathering and actually kind of taking these things on the road a little bit?
It's fascinating because there's so many factors you have to consider. You may love that music, but the people out there want to know, can you sell tickets? Where would it make sense? What's the demographic? And all of a sudden you're like a music producer, and really you just want to play music and sing, but you have to balance all those things at the same time. Well,
in the reality, it is a business. You could do it in your garage and have fun, have people coming over on the weekends or whatever, but you are really taking this on as a show, and you're really putting on a show.
I have a business background, and that's been a plus, because I can speak the language of these people who, really want to know the numbers all make sense. And sadly, oftentimes they don't, and I have to acknowledge that, and sometimes there's ways to make it work, which gets us in places they wouldn't expect. With a band like the Wilburys, for example, when you're bringing multiple characters versus just Bob Dylan. So that's why we built some of these things, to make that all work.
Now, for people who don't know you, I mean, you're on the show regular time. We talk about lots of stuff you guys are doing. When did you first start getting into music? When did you start performing? Is this something later in life, or you always had it on?
I've had this conversation a bunch. I played a little in my youth, mostly in choral groups, high school, a little bit in college, and then put it all away. Didn't really mess with it. Couldn't play an instrument. Little piano, very little guitar. And then the pandemic really is what broke that out. So like 2020, everybody was outside playing and met a lot of people, and just played all day and night and day, and it evolved from there. So 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah,
and now it's just grown to such great things. Now let's talk about the Wilburys. You guys are taking that show on the road. Now that's it, legit. You guys are going places with that. It's really become a major part of what you're doing.
If anything, we're looking a little further along the curve than we probably are, just because the summer offers so many opportunities to play at good venues. So in the next couple weeks, we play a couple concerts in the park, including Newport Beach, which is kind of considered prestigious, so we're excited about that. And then we put a couple other shows together because the guys from Vegas who are in that band are coming in. So one I want to tell the Laguna Woods people about is on Thursday of this week in Fullerton. We've got a cool place called the Charleston, which is like a big fancy ballroom set up for this sort of thing. And the tickets are inexpensive, but you'd see all our best players in that band. Jeff will be participating as Jeff Lynne, Jeff Ryder. And we just hope people will come and join us and support it, because it does go to support the Village Music Club, or to not have as big a loss, maybe a better way to say it. Because, you know, we do struggle to get people aware of these things. We don't have the resources that a lot of other, you know, venues might. But it's doing okay. We've got maybe just under 100 people coming. But if you want to have an intimate opportunity to see the Wilbury Supergroup at its best, all our best players, buy a ticket for Thursday. It's only $20, and we'll upgrade anybody who sees this show and lets us know. You can buy a table for 8. We'll give you the price of 6. And upgrade you to near the front. So yeah, that's the info I see.
Let's have a little clip. Let's have a sample. This is the Tom Petty singer. He's doing a little bit of American Girl in the Wilburys tribute band. Let's take a quick listen.
She was an American girl.
There you go, proof positive. It's going to be a great show.
It's funny, that guy still gets stopped on the street thinking he's Tom Petty. Petty's been dead, like, I want to say up to 10 years now. So he's an amazing guy. He played with Green Day. He's played with Melissa Etheridge. I mean, you're really seeing a top-level musician with him. And the rest of the band's not too shabby either.
Now, you guys also are doing a little thing with a Led Zeppelin tribute band, and they're called Led Zepp Again.
Right.
And what are you doing there?
I'm hoping people watching this have heard of Zepp Again. They probably are the premier tribute band in the country. They have 1 million followers on Facebook. Jimmy Page has endorsed them as a Led Zeppelin
Which is
tribute.
Pretty interesting, right?
How much better can you do? He said this is the next best thing to seeing us live. That's how close these guys are. Well, they have a special act called Symphony to Heaven, where they actually bring an orchestral group in. And I was able to arrange they were willing to come play here, but I don't have any more dates in 2024. So I connected with another club, and they made the deal with them, and they're going to be here in October. And I sure hope people will go see this group. I mean, this is something that tours the world. South America, I know they have dates and all over the place. So it's a pretty special opportunity.
Yeah, and an orchestral arrangement can really just enhance or really kind of let you hear the song in a way you never imagined it before.
There's a great video. I have no idea if I'm loving this QR code thing. I don't know if people are actually doing it on their screen or not, but go get a flyer at a clubhouse or you know, we'll put it on Facebook and watch a video. That's all I can say. I'm not the biggest Led Zeppelin fan personally. I'm more of a Who guy.
Okay.
But when I heard this, I was like, yeah, I'll help you get all set up, because it is, I'll be there. I thought it was just amazing. It's really unique. And you're hearing some of these songs that are just legendary, but in a totally different way.
What are some of the things you have? We've talked about maybe a John Denver tribute. What are kind of the other things you're still having in the works and you want to see and bring to life around here?
You know, I'm trying to get better at what we already do, because it's spread so thin as it is. I hate to admit it, but it's true. So next year's the 50th anniversary of Blood on the Tracks, that very famous Dylan album, which is almost always ranked in the top 10. So we're going to do a tribute to that exact album. So that'll be one of our 2 sets, is the word for word, note for note, that particular album. It has Tangled Up in Blue on it, Shelter from the Storm. And so then the other half of the concert would be greatest hits, or possibly Wilbur, something interesting and different. But long story, and then there's this movie, which you may or may not have heard of, but there's Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Don't go to a lot of movies these days, but he is an Academy Award level dude. Yeah. He's playing Bob Dylan in a movie that comes out in December. That obviously is going to create a ton of additional awareness for Dylan, and we hope to be, you know, benefiting from that in marketing and publicity.
I think the great thing about those movies like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man and some of the movies that have come out, it kind of brings a new audience to these old groups. Like, I didn't know anything about these
Jimmy
guys.
Buffett, you know, they had him here at the PAC after he passed away, and I got a buddy. He's great. I mean, it's a great band. Doesn't look much like Buffett. Good singer, doesn't sound much. They're playing everywhere. To this day, it just kind of launched them. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll get Dylan that kind of level of awareness and give me that opportunity in our band. I don't know, but I mean, we're certainly hoping to be placed to find out.
Yeah, now when you play at like places like Newport and other things like that, do you enjoy when you see a younger group, younger generation kind of listening and kind of, oh, hey, this is some good stuff here?
Yeah, and they come up, and then they like, you know, people have seen us more than once. You know, they bought the albums. They go to the original artists and kind of learn all about them thanks to the tributes. So people who are negative about tributes, it does actually kind of keep that legacy alive.
Yeah, it really does.
Moving forward, I believe in them strongly, needless to say, but there's a lot of naysayers for tributes, and I get it, but in the end, for some groups, it's the only way you're going to hear them the way they sound, or at least close, and then that builds interest in what they actually have on, you know, on the internet or wherever they can find it.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pamela Sankey couldn't be here today, but you wanted to talk a little about what the OC Nomads are doing and what they're doing around town.
They're just doing great. I know they've played at the Neighbors Bar nearby here and had a good turnout there. They have 2 dates, the 5th and the 26th, here in the community at Club 19, that, you know, traditional, hopefully legendary or legacy type of band thing, which we're trying to build for the community. And I'm actually going to join them on the 26th, kind of a, you know, once in a while visit. They asked me to come back and, you know, be a part of that. And so I'm looking forward to playing with Pamela and Lyle and the gang at Club 19. But they're playing tonight, which won't air, but they played on the 5th. So hopefully everybody went and enjoyed it, and then come back and see us on the 26th.
Okay. Well, John Pearlstone, Village Music Club, thank you for coming in. I know you're busy. Let's get you right back on the road.
We'll be back next month. More to talk about. Thanks again, Michael.
Thanks a lot. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back. Watch a movie this weekend? We've got them for you. On Friday, The Talented Mr. Ripley with Matt Damon, Jude Law, and Gwyneth Paltrow. It's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. Hey, he was just here. It's going to be on at 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And it's Tom Ripley. He's a calculating young man who believes it's better to be fake somebody than a real nobody. And that plunges him into a daring scheme of duplicity, lies, and murder. Sounds like a good one for Friday. Saturday, just as good. It's a classic, Moby Dick from 1956, starring Gregory Peck, the sole survivor of a lost whaling ship. Of course, that's Ismail. He relates this tale of his captain's self-destructive obsession to hunt the white whale, Moby Dick. That's going to be on at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles, brought to us by RadNet. Let's take a quick check of the weather before we head out. And we still got some high clouds out there, and they're going to hang around most part of the day, but mostly sunny skies, really. Same kind of pattern tomorrow, and then we'll have, you know, as we go. But it looks like 80s throughout the week. Good temperatures, not too hot, not too cold, just in the right spot for this time of year. Looks good out there. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. We're going to have on tomorrow's show Envision and fun at the OC Fair, so make sure you stay tuned for that. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.